All right. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? Thank you. Thank you, Megan. I would type all caps. Oh, yeah. See, you're learning. Nice. You're learning. I appreciate it. I will imagine that it was in all caps and that you were yelling it. Probably from your roof. You're probably on your roof yelling right now to everybody that it's my birthday. So I appreciate that. Hey, so Megan, you already know where we're all going, right? We're going to Chuck E. Cheese. That's right. Everybody meet there virtually, and we're going to party hard with good old Chuck. Thank you, Cassidy. I appreciate it. Thank you, Matt. I can't believe I'm finally 16. I can get my license. 678? No. What? 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 Who do you think I am, Miss Jury? 16 in 23 days. That's intense. Wow. That's big moves. Good stuff. Do your parents start crying when they think about you being 16 so soon? How you're growing up? Cassidy, 17 in 7 days. Man, is this. Are we all just. Were we all put in the same class because we have birthdays that are just super similar? Is that how they did the scheduling, do you think? So that we could just have one giant party for everybody? Thank you very much, Tommy. Tommy, baby. I'm 78. Classic. G fourth year of high school. Wow. 60. Oh, I see. Hey, man. However many years it takes, you know? As long as you get there in the end. A diploma's a diploma. This time, maybe. Well, it's because you just keep failing online health, right? That's the one credit that you just can't get. How are we celebrating? PE. Oh, man. You didn't turn in your fitness logs? Oh, no. We're celebrating by the best present of all knowledge, mathematics, uh, cold weather. Yeah, it lights up. It's kind of hard to tell. Here, let me. There. That's probably easier. Look, every now and then I actually teach you guys something. I don't know if it's relevant. It may be like a Disney fact related thing, but it happens. Okay, so I don't know what all this nonsense is, acting like I don't teach you things. Uh oh. Uh oh. Yeah, I think it's Ted. I think it's a certain amount. I think you can only do like I don't know what it is, like somewhere between like 3 to 8 or something like that is all of the accidentally typed all caps. What were you so excited about? The bow tie? Thank you for using the command !art, which brings up the first plug here to, if you haven't already, check out Miss Jury's newest YouTube video featuring yours truly, Mr. Abundus, as we talk about wonderful artist slash mathematician MC Escher. Great video. There we go, Ted. Appreciate it. I loved the 17-minute video. I think everybody does. I just said that. Imagine in all caps. Okay. And then also bringing up !C4. We have my record. Right. Now, you guys didn't want to play on Friday, but across my other classes, so far I'm currently 3-1 in Connect 4 against nerd teenagers. What do you mean you don't get it? I've been playing Connect 4 against kids in my classes, and I have 3 wins and 1 loss. That's what it means. The !C4 just keeps track of how many wins and losses I have. You have a question? Great. This is suspenseful. Are you typing it in all caps? Don't do that. Do you sometimes struggle with punctuating your last name because it ends with an S? No, not really. Like Abunduses, right? So that's how you do it. Right? Like Abunduses, like possessive. Like Abundus is computer. So you just put I just put an apostrophe at the end. No. This is perfectly accurate, right? What's perfectly accurate? Yes, possessive. Yeah, my Connect 4 is accurate. I'm 3-1. 3-1. I had one lapse in brain judgment, so I do have a loss on the plate, but I was going for a big play. I had the opportunity to get a 6 in a row, and I thought I could go for it, but it required me to put myself in some danger, and unfortunately, it did not work out. But I really wanted that 6 in a row, so I felt like it was worth it to go for it. Should I go to Mrs. Lee's Zoom meeting tomorrow? Well, Hayden keeps saying that keeps missing the Zoom meetings, and so I'm pretty sure Mrs. Lee is hunting Hayden down as we speak. So I don't know if you want that for your life as well. I would probably recommend attending, but that's just me. I don't know. Ask Hayden if he's going. She's listening. BS about what? I'll just hide. Mrs. Lee knows better. I know she does. She's telling you to say these things. She knows where you work and where you live. Yeah, that's true. She comes to mine all the time. I don't know how Mrs. Lee always finds you, Megan. It's crazy. It's like she's psychic. Haven't gone to a Zoom meeting in weeks. Uh, so sad. She tracks you down. Yeah, your mentor's pretty. At least she has. See, it's like since I'm such a big influencer in the online content these days, so that's why she had to bring me on so that I can get her some more views, boost her views and likes and subscribes. At least she has what? At least I said at least she has good guests for her YouTube videos. Can you get suspended? Can who get suspended? You, Cassidy? That'd be kind of fun. I think that's fun. I think we should virtually suspend people and give you virtual detentions, and I'll put in for a sub, and you guys one day when you log on here, it won't be me. It'll be like a substitute who's doing the Twitch stream instead. I think that's a good time. Virtual detention with Mr. Conklin, man. Tough. Tough. Can I bring him on here? I don't know. Miss is that the sub you want? I'm sure I could get her. Tom wants to know why you aren't teaching. He doesn't care I'm not learning. He just wants to know. I'm just here to hang out. Am I supposed to be teaching something? I thought this was just exclusively time in the day that we carved out to talk about things that are important, like Ted Bundy, Connect 4, YouTube videos, Target, iPads. That's kind of the main focus of this particular stream. So he's eating the sugar cookies I made for your birthday. Oh, wow. Friend maybe. Oh, wow. Okay. Great. I take a PFA while contributing rich conversation to the birthday stream. What PFA are we talking about here? Yeah, I already approved that like 30 minutes ago. Take it whenever you want. Why don't I have rainbow disco lights? I thought it would detract from the bow tie. I ordered a bunch of LED lights from Amazon, but they're so backed up with orders that they might take a while to get here. I already approved this other one. All right, let's do it. Let's get this done. This will be quick. It's easy. Did you buy the TikTok lights? What are the TikTok lights? All right. Y equals mx plus b. Right, we know how to graph those lines. B is the y-intercept, m is the slope. So starting off, y-intercept of minus 3. Always start off by graphing the y-intercept. And then here's my slope, 3 over 2. So up 3 over 2. Up 3 over 2. Up 3 over 2. Or we can go the other way and go down 3, left 2. Down 3, left 2. And we'll draw a perfectly straight line through them. All right, now for the second equation, it's not in y equals mx plus b form. So let's just make it so that it is. So we'll subtract 3x from both sides. And then I have negative y, so I'm going to multiply the entire equation by negative 1. So negative y becomes y. Negative 3x becomes 3x. Plus 9 becomes minus 9. Graph the y-intercept first. Up 3 over 1. 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 Connect them all. So these are the two lines graphed. We can see that they intersect in this point. So this point where they intersect is what we would call the solution. Right? It is the point that satisfies both equations. It is wherever the two lines intersect. Can we party after you teach? Yeah, how are we partying? Cassidy says she doesn't want to party. She screams no. All right, so just a quick warm-up of remembering how to graph lines. Now, we're going to take that and graph systems of inequalities. So the easiest way that we graph them is, as it says here, in slope-intercept form. If things aren't in slope-intercept form, it's a little tougher to graph. You can still do it other ways, but what we're used to since pre-algebra, algebra 1, is using y equals mx plus b. For inequalities, a solid line is if we have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Dashed line is just less than or just greater than. And since it's an inequality, we'll shade above or below. Okay, so shading above is where it's greater than or equal to. Shading below is if it's less than or equal to. You want to party, but you don't want to do school. That's why we're just going to knock this out. It's quick. It's quick. Right? And then we'll log into the virtual Chuck E. Cheese chat room. Okay, so first system. Send the answers out. To what? First thing I'm going to do is just move the 3x over. I'm trying to get this in slope-intercept form. And then I'll divide everything by 2. So kind of similar to what we did before. I'm going to keep track of this just by putting a little star here. And I guess I can go ahead and graph that. So y-intercept of minus 1. Negative 3 halves. Okay, so that's down 3 and right 2. Down 3, right 2. Or we could do the opposite of both. So we could go up 3, left 2, up 3, left 2. Since this is greater than or equal to, then this should be a solid line. Oh, wow. That was bad. Okay, that's fine. The slides. Oh, I see. Left my Apple Pencil upstairs. Yikes. Tough times. Truly, your grandchildren will hear about these times. You can tell them stories about when you were their age and you had to attend virtual school, but you left your Apple Pencil upstairs. Like, wow, really, Grandma? All the way upstairs? All right, so here's my other equation. Y less than or equal to negative 1/2 x plus 1. So y-intercept, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, or up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2. All right, this one is also or equals to, so this will just be a solid line. And so now is where we have to get to our shading. All right, we have 4 options for sections that we could shade. We could shade this area, this area, this area, or this area. All right, but let's look at this first line. So since this is greater than or equal to, then we want to shade above this line. But since this second equation is less than or equal to, we want it to be below the blue line. So above the turquoise line or periwinkle line or whatever. Right? So above that line would mean it cannot be this section or this section because those are not above that line. But then also, since it needs to be below the dark blue line, it cannot be this section. So just by process of elimination, this should be the section that we shade. Cassidy is going to be a grandpa. Okay, well, hey, well, either way. All right, so that's the shading. You've done this before in, I don't know, Algebra 1, maybe Algebra 2. Okay, graphing inequalities. So let's just crank it up one notch. And let's add another equation so that we have a system of 3 equations of inequalities. And let's try to graph these and figure out where the shaded portion should be. Okay. So let's take this first equation and put it into slope-intercept form. So we'll first subtract x to move it over to the right. And then divide negative 2 plus 7/2. I was teaching 8th grade, they did this. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Definitely did 2 equations for a while. All right, so that's why, just a quick refresher. And then adding the equation. I don't know how many equations you've done before. But if you're in college algebra, you've done 3 equations at least. So here's one of the equations that I want to graph. Notice that we change the direction of the inequality whenever we divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, right? Then we have to make sure to change the direction. Right, plus 7/2. So that would be 3.5. Up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, or down 1 left 2, down 1 left 2, down 1 left 2. It is just greater than, which means it's a dashed line. Let's look at this next equation. So we'll subtract 2x from both sides. I guess I should write up here. Since this is greater than, so eventually when we shade, not yet, but eventually we'll shade above the red line. Negative y, so we'll multiply both sides of the equation by negative or divide by negative. So y, it changes the direction of the inequality, just like the last one. Negative 2x becomes positive 2x, plus 4 becomes minus 4. Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, 2 over 1, 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, or down 2 left 1, down 2 left 1, down 2 left 1. This is greater than or equal to, so we will make a solid line. And lastly, this one's simple, just subtract x from both sides. So negative x plus 2. So intercept of 2, negative x. So down 1, right 1, or up 1, left 1. And it is strictly less than, so this will be another dashed line. And since it is less than, so we want to be below the pink line, above the red line, and above the blue line. So again, we have a lot of options for where should we shade. Right, the region that we're going to end up shading will be one of these. So I think the easiest way to do it is just by process elimination. All right, now, do you have to actually make these dots on your paper? No, but this is at least how you should think about it. Okay, so first, we need to be above the red line. All right, so that would eliminate this dot, this region, this region, this region. All right, these three are the only ones that are above the red line. We need to be above the blue line, so that would eliminate that top right corner dot. So only these two are left. But then since it's less than for the pink line, so it needs to be below the pink line, so that would eliminate this region. So it must just be this is the only region shaded. So again, I know this isn't anything new, but just refresh, because even though it's not new, I still see a lot of people mess up very small things. Okay, whether it's forgetting to flip the direction of the inequality or rise over run, right? Flipping it and you're accidentally doing run over rise. Okay, so you're kind of flipping the up, down, left, right portion. Okay, or the shading part. So that's also can be difficult because there's just lots of choices. There's a lot more regions. Okay, but just go through it methodically. Think about it a step at a time. Do process elimination. Right, I think that's the best way to do it, and you'll get your answer. All right. So, very last one. 3x minus 4y. Subtract 3x from both sides. Divide both sides by -4. That will change the direction of the inequality. -3 over -4 makes positive 3/4. 8 divided by -4 is -2. I'll do my graph. Up 3, right 4. Or down 3, left 4. It's y greater than, so that's going to be a dashed line. And since it is greater than, then whenever I think later about the shading, I want to think about it being above blue. Y less than 5, I don't need to do anything to that. That's just an equation. Technically, it's in slope-intercept form. The slope is just 0. So y less than 5. I guess I should make this blue line a little bit more extended. And y less than, so we want to be below the orange line. Okay. And lastly, -2x plus 7 less than or equal to y. So this actually is basically in slope-intercept form. I'm just going to take the whole equation and flip it around. So I'm going to change sides and change the inequality around. So y greater than or equal to -2x plus 7. Right, I really didn't change anything. This is still in slope-intercept form. Right, so I still kept it that way. And it's y greater than or equal to, so we want to be above the red line. So let's make our y-intercept of 7. -2, so down 2, right 1. Greater than or equal to, so it's a solid line. Okay, so I'm still going to keep doing this just because it's good to think about. So we have all these choices for where we should be shading. I guess you guys can't see that very top dot. And put it there. Okay, we have all these choices. So from the let's say orange one, so we know it should be below orange. Okay, so I can get rid of that one, and that one. It should be above the blue line, so we can get rid of this region and this region. And then lastly, it should be above the red line, so we can get rid of this region. And our final answer should just be this innermost region that's shaded. Cassie, stop texting me during class. So there we go. These questions you'll see on the PFA. The way that it is on the PFA is it gives you these equations and the graph, and you'll see them numbered, the regions. Something like this. And the question will ask, like, which region should be shaded? And so you'll have to pick, oh, the 7th region should be shaded, or the 5th region, or the 1st region, whatever number matches up with the correct region. Now, you'll also have to check, one of the answer choices is always, this graph is not correct. Okay, so there's the potential that the graph that it shows you does not even match the equations that you're given. So before you start thinking about shading, the first thing you should always do is make sure, do these equations actually perfectly match with this graph? Because sometimes there's ones that are wrong. Sometimes a line should be dotted or dashed when it's actually solid, or a line, maybe the slope is slightly messed up or something like that. So first check to make sure that the graph matches the equations perfectly, because that absolutely can be an answer that the graph is not correct. But if the graph is correct, then you just pick which section should be shaded.